Today, I'm gonna get personal. I don't wanna share just the polished, unfiltered version of being a creative small business owner because as my team and my husband, heck, even my mom would tell you, it's anything but. I will be the first to raise my hand in the air and tell you that I constantly mess up. So today I want to share with you what my business has worked through these first 34 months that I have been a full-time business owner, so you can see some of the decisions and the mistakes that I've made along the way, and basically how unhighlight reel worthy this all has been. Hey there, welcome to another episode. This is episode 51 on the Ashlyn Writes channel. My name is Ashlyn. I'm a conversion copywriter for creative entrepreneurs, which means it's my job to get really nerdy about the words that you're using to market your business so you can hopefully make some more sales. So pretend we're hanging out here over matcha lattes. I'll be honest, I've never had one, but I see them on Instagram all the time and they look fabulous. So let's just pretend that we're hanging out together having one of those. And I'm just gonna serve it up straight, open book style, 10 mistakes that I have made as a business owner. Now, today's freebie is going to be in conjunction with one of the points I'm going to talk about. If you've ever struggled with saying no to people that are asking to meet up or pick your brain, I hate that quote, then I have a gift for you. Look down below and you can grab my Coffee Chat copy template swipe file. That's my gift to you to help you knock out those questions that are lingering in your inbox. Mistake number one, I did not believe that I needed to niche at first. I remember exactly where I was taking a left turn onto Piedmont Drive here in Atlanta when I was listening to a podcast. This is right before I left my full-time corporate marketing job. And I was listening to a podcast and either the host or the guest said something about how you should niche down, say no to a lot of things and say yes to just a few things because that's really where the riches are. The riches are in the niches. I literally thought, what does this guy know? I was getting ready to leave my job, so I had full wedding suite clients ready to go on the calligraphy side of my business. I had chalkboard clients in place. I had inquiries from Atlanta area venues asking me to come teach calligraphy, content marketing work for everybody from Princess Cruises to About.com as far as copywriting goes. I had editorial work from magazines and even some ghostwriting jobs for blogs for different corporations around town. Literally, if it involved writing or calligraphy, I was going to do it. What did this guy know? Well, a lot, it turns out. I've talked about it in multiple podcast interviews, but I truly saw that the more honed and specific I got, the tighter then, of course, my copy and my messaging got, which meant the more sales and revenue my business generated. It seemed so counterintuitive and it was so scary to just drill down and talk to a very, very small group of people instead of taking on all of this work that was being asked for me to do, but it really worked. After about 4 months, I said no to anything that wasn't either specific full suite wedding paper for Southern brides or copywriting for creatives. And that's when my business really took off. Mistake number two, I didn't pay myself regularly until my second year in business. And yes, this caused as many marriage arguments as you're thinking it might have. So my business was profitable, like we talked about in number one. I had drilled down, we'd started to make a lot of revenue, but I was terrified it was all gonna disappear, so I just hoarded it. I didn't move any money over from the business account. I kept it all in there thinking this was all about to go away and I just needed to keep it. I had no idea what to pay myself weekly as far as a number. I didn't even know if I needed to pay myself monthly. We definitely weren't giving or practicing any generosity or tithing from my business. I pretty much just paid myself whenever my husband got onto me saying, we did not let you quit your job so you could just hoard money into a business account. It wasn't until we worked one-on-one with my friend and financial coach, Shanna Skidmore, using her blueprint model system that I began to really understand my revenue plan and my numbers. I finally understood how to know what my take home needed to be as a small business owner. I started to understand what enough was for our family and what I needed to bring in as my part of the income, but I also started to be able to dream a little bit. If we wanted to own a lake house by the time we were so many years old with kids and grandkids running around, what are we gonna have to start saving now to get to that place? So 2018 was the first year I was able to consecutively every single week pay myself without freaking out at all. And I also, as a bonus, cut way down on the number of clients that I served. I had gone from saying yes, remember, to all the clients and all the jobs and having way too much on my plate to drilling down and really just serving about 7 clients, me on my own, and building a team to serve the rest. Didn't even know I could do that. Every year I bring a crew of women through the blueprint model, kind of help you through it and show you what I've learned as well. So if you want to get in on the Market Sustainably track, you can look below and see when that opens up in January. Number 3, I said yes to so many collaborations, from summits to free speaking opportunities to even client work, just because I thought I needed the exposure and I kind of wanted the exposure. Hello, burnout. Seeing my time as my most valuable resource really took a while. But over the months, I started to realize that all of the time that I was putting into building other people's businesses was time that I was not getting to put into building my own business. I was constantly working myself into the ground, putting my own business last, never treating myself as a client. I even had a name for it, cobbler's children syndrome, kind of off the idea that cobbler's children have no shoes. Well, neither did my business. I didn't believe I was worthy of playing big, and so I just kept thinking I needed that one more feather in my cap before I was legit, or before I was good enough to do whatever it was that was next. Nobody is going to give you permission when you're a small business owner, when you're the CEO. It's up to you to give yourself that permission. Protect your time, protect your energy, make the less worth the yes. Number 4, I bought into the lie that to be an expert, all you have to do is declare yourself an expert and start teaching on a subject matter. I don't actually believe that at all. As I was coming into the entrepreneurial space and looking around, I saw a lot of teachers saying that to establish yourself as an expert, all you really needed to do is go out there, declare yourself an expert, start teaching on it, and then people would listen to you. Now, to a point, go with me on this analogy. Who does a freshman in college want to lead them around campus? A sophomore, not the dean, right? You want that person who's just a little bit ahead of you, not the one at the very top. But what I have learned the longer I'm in business is what truly makes you an expert on something and kind of allows you to teach or call yourself an expert is when you've really gotten those years of experience under your belt. You've gotten the results not just for your own business, but you've gotten them for your clients and for your customers as well. Okay, my goal for going there on this one is threefold for you. Number 1, I want you to remember it is A-okay to grow slow. It's okay to shadow, to apprentice a craft before you are the expert. So many times I think that we believe that if we're not big timing, then we're not worthy, we're not good enough, and that's not true at all. Some of our crafts are just gonna take a long time to learn and to grow and to perfect. This is one of my favorite quotes, but I don't believe in overnight success. I think it takes a long time and a lot of experience to get to a certain spot. Okay, secondly, you don't have to be an educator if you don't want to be an educator. It seems like there's a lie too in the online industry or the creative industry that if you want to get to that next bracket revenue-wise, you have to go B2B. You have to quit being B2C, business to consumer, and you need to start educating or teaching others whatever it is that you do. That's the only way to truly skyrocket your profitability. Not true at all. If anything, I think this leaves a gap where there's so many opportunities in the B2C space. For example, wedding photographers to their clients who would be booking them. There may be ways we could think outside of the box in that capacity and market and sell to those groups of people that's different. Finally, with this, I have learned to really be careful about who I learn from. Just because somebody says they're an expert doesn't mean they are, and I need to do my due diligence. And before I purchase something or before I work with somebody, look into why they are actually an expert. What results have they gotten? Not just their business, but somebody else's business. Have they taught this to others, or have they only been their best client? Number 5 mistake, I started my business without a professional contract. Yeah, so all it did was one client booking a spot with me and then canceling it, and me realizing I was up a creek without a paddle. There's no way I could make those thousands of dollars back or have any grounds to stand on before I realized I needed a good contract. I will link below a couple of blogs and videos that have helped me. I love the contract shop as a resource. You can get great professional attorney-approved contracts there that you can use as templates in your own business. Load those into your CRM system or tool, whatever you use. I use HoneyBook, so I have worked with Christina Scalera to create both the copywriter template and the calligrapher's template that are a part of the contract shop's resource arsenal, are things that I have used in my own business, and I helped them a little bit in the creation of those. They are great tools. I will link them below. But no matter what you do in the creative industry, there's great, ready to go templates right there for you. Have those in place. Take it from me. I learned it the hard way, and I was out some cash because of it. Also, to this point, I learned that a contract is more of an agreement and it helps your client or your customer be just as satisfied with the client experience as you. So it's not just a one-way thing, and I think that was a mistake I made too. Going into business, I thought that contracts were something that were just for the business owner, but really they should protect your client or your customer just as much, and that's a good thing. Number 6, I thought courses were only for a certain time in business. False, they're not. I bought into this concept that at one point I would outgrow online courses or digital trainings and be on to the next thing. Instead, I've actually seen that we still purchase online courses for both me to take and for my team members to take. They're not as broad maybe as they were in the beginning. They're a little more targeted, a little more specific to XYZ things that we need to learn. But I also here had to realize that if I'm having a hard time getting through some sort of online program or training, then maybe the common denominator at some point could be me. So today when I invest in something, I get really feisty about making my investment back. I always calculate and gamify what it is I can do to make back that revenue in our business. If you need more guidance here, I created a whole YouTube video where I talk about some best practices for getting through online courses. I still think they're so good. I remember I loved lunch and learns when I was in the corporate industry and just getting to bring my paper sack lunch and sit and listen and learn from somebody a little bit more about what it was that I was doing day in and day out. And these online courses are the creative business owner's version of that. Number 7, I let others get to me and I also let others walk all over me. Not too long ago, okay, fine, 3 months ago, I sat in the middle of a circle at my mastermind retreat. We were doing an exercise where each of us was speaking into one another, things that we saw that we weren't believing about ourselves. And a lot of the feedback I got back is how I let others really affect me. Essentially, the feedback I got was that I needed to step into my own genius and stop constantly worrying about building other people's businesses. What I realized is that my inaction is usually fear-based. Part of what I've learned helps me with this is putting different blockers in place. So let me give you a couple of examples of what I've done here. I've learned that I have got to have somebody manage my inbox and gatekeep messages. If I see sometimes on one day, one message that's going to just hit me where I'm sensitive, oh my gosh, it throws off everything and I think I'm the worst person and I should just go ahead and quit and so on and so forth. I also have had somebody in place during launches. If we're running a lot of Facebook ads, that can help too. Sometimes you just put a lot of Facebook ads out there, then you'll get some random comments. Nobody needs to see stuff like that. Also, unfollowing and unsubscribing. You can still cheer people on and be so for their business without having those messages or images come up all the time. This also protects my creativity. I will accidentally regurgitate something that I hear unless I work really hard about protecting my own brain. Finally, what has helped me out a lot here is, again, back to what I was talking about earlier, having a great legal team in place and ready to go. I thought that this was something that was reserved for the big people in business, but it turns out you can get access to somebody that can help you out with legal situations really early in your business, and that gave me a lot of confidence. Instead of worrying when I see something that looks a little similar to mine or is even outright copyright, instead of just losing sleep over it and stewing and getting all upset, I'm just able to bring it to an attorney and ask their opinion and move on. This one took a little bit of guts to talk through, but I hope that that helps you out and you see that we all deal with this. As creative small business owners, it is a mindset shift and working through that has been really helpful for me. Mistake number 8, I was really slow to hand off work because I thought I wasn't a big girl enough in business to be allowed to delegate things. I talk about this more in another video, so I will link that below. But outsourcing was definitely something that I thought came along when you were at a certain point in business, and I was nowhere near that. I thought I had to reach a certain status level before I was allowed to have somebody help out in my inbox. Again, over time, I realized that the time that I was spending in my inbox was keeping me from the work that really only I could do. Look below and check out the YouTube video where I talk more about ways that you can hand off tasks in your business. Number 9, I thought I had to do coffee chats all the time because that's just how my industry worked. Whoa, baby. So again, I have committed an entire video to talking through this. Today's freebie is specifically for you if you've struggled with this. I created a template file of some coffee chat responses, whether you are the one asking for somebody to hop on a call with you so you can kind of get to know them a little bit more, or if you get those emails all the time and you don't know how to graciously answer them, I got your back. look down below, grab that freebie, and I hope it helps you out. From meetups to Rising Tide Society get-togethers to coffee chats online to coffee chats in person with people. I would be driving across town all the time, and I felt really productive even though all of that time was keeping me from the work that was actually getting us paid. Now, I do think some of that was important. I think grassroots marketing is something that we forget about all the time, and that those in-person relationships are very, very integral. But I learned this the hard way when I started seeing that I was spending more time hanging out with people I didn't really know than getting my work done so I could hang out with my husband. Finally, mistake number 10, I had to work through a lot of guilt when it came to making money. Okay, so I hesitated to say this and go there, but hear my heart on this. So my faith is really important to me. And what I've had to learn is that God, I believe in God, has gifted certain people to be good at seeing patterns in commerce. He has gifted certain people at being good at a skill or a craft that people are willing to pay for. He's also gifted some people to be good at marketing and selling. So all of this to say, it was a big mindset shift for me to understand that a lot of times the point of a business is to be profitable, to bring in more money than you're investing. Clearly, I wasn't a business major, I was a journalism major, so working through some of my thoughts on this and capitalism was something I had to learn truly as being a business owner. Yes, money is absolutely a root of evil, but money is a neutral construct, and understanding that is important. We're the ones that screw it up. It's what we choose to spend it on that is where the havoc takes place. I love this quote from Michael Hyatt. It's really helped me out a lot. And what I've had to learn over time is that money magnifies the character that we already have. If we're jerks, making a lot of money is going to make us more of a jerk. But if we're truly trying to be as generous and as intentional in our spending and our stewardship of money, both as business owners and in our personal lives as possible, then making more money is going to magnify that. We have to be careful, and again, I believe I have to pray about these things because I think they can trip us up a lot, but this was a big mindset shift. I had to work through a lot of that early on in my business. Holy cow, I can't believe that I said some of those things, but here they are on the internet. I never want you to think that I have it all figured out. I don't. Like I said, I mess up all the time, but I hope that this video gave you the opportunity to see how I've failed, how I've learned from some things, and how I've grown into my own advice over time. I want to hear from you. Can you chime in below? Maybe let me know one mistake that you've made in your business that you've learned the hard way. I think these lessons are so good for us to learn in community together. If you found this video helpful today, I would appreciate a like, and I'll see you back next week with an all new video.